Hey everyone, so this is the Nokia C100 smartphone here. This is a pretty dang cheap phone. So this one in particular is totaled by Verizon, bought from Meyer. It was half off when I bought it, but normal price it's only like 40 bucks. So this is a super cheap phone. Of course, they get you more with the service plan than anything else. But again, this is a cheap phone, and there are a lot of other cheap phones out there. So keep that in mind throughout this video, though, that this is a cheap phone, and there are a lot of cheap phones out there. So let's first start out here with some specs, just going off of what the box says here. This has a 5.45-inch HD Plus display. We'll come back to the display in a little bit, but it says HD Plus. I don't know how it can be HD Plus. It's not really that great. It has 32 gigabytes of internal storage that can be expanded with a micro SD card if you want. And then it has a 2 gigahertz quad core processor, which is again not really that great. There are other phones that are a little bit more expensive, say like 20-30 bucks more expensive, that have octa core processors. So you can say something like the Samsung A03s or this Motorola G Power. Those are a little bit more expensive, again, like $20-$30 more. When you get them through something like the Total by Verizon prepaid phones, and they have octa-core processors in them, compared to this one that only has a quad core. But let's talk about what is good about this phone. First off, I like the way the phone looks. It has a cool texture to it, and you can hear it. And then the coloration is nice, and it feels good in the hand. I do like the size of it. It's not too big, it's not too small. You can remove and replace the battery, which is really cool. Again, it does have expandable storage, which is awesome. And you do have a headphone jack right there, which is also a good thing. Going into the phone itself, it is not very quick. Just doing things like that takes a little bit of time. Turning the phone on when it is powered off is incredibly slow. It does take a very long time, but that is on par with other phones around this price range, even the other two I just showed off. The display here, again, is 5.45 inches, supposed to be HD Plus. It's not really that great, hard to see on the camera, but it's not really the best of displays. It just has this weird, it just has some weirdness to it. But again, not that expensive of a phone, so. Let's talk about power here, and actually really fast. It has it's a very bad fingerprint magnet as well. Constantly having to wipe this thing down. Talking about performance, we'll just do a bestbuy.com search here. Something like Pokemon.com will take a lot quicker to load in, but doing something like Best Buy is going to take a bit longer to load in. This is a little bit of a heavier website than other things, again, like Pokemon.com. So let's see, we click that, we can go ahead and we'll click this A7 Lite. You see everything's still trying to load in here. Click this A7 Lite here, and this quad core processor will start to struggle. So there should be a picture that will pop in, and then down here you have a whole bunch of other things that need to be popping in. Again, a lot of phones in this price range are going to take some decent time, but this one is even slower. So you have a whole bunch of other stuff here that should be coming in, but it just takes forever. Again, if you're just doing, most websites should be okay. Just have your websites like Best Buy here. That will take a bit longer to load in. All right, just going on to YouTube here, as I know people will be, of course, use their phones to watch YouTube or other things. I'm just gonna hit one of my videos. And eventually it will start to play. Of course, you have your ads. Let it get through the ads. Once it gets through the ads, it is okay. Let's see, we're trying to get it to go big. There we go. It takes it a little bit here. Again, the display is okay. I mean, it's not terrible. It just isn't as good as other devices. I mean, see how long that kind of takes. And sometimes it double taps. I didn't double tap. Zoom through here. It does load in okay. And other times it takes it a moment. Other times you'll be trying to do something like that and it'll just kind of freak out, or it'll just lag out really bad. You see, when you try to go get rid of this app here, you have some weird freakouts, some weird, that's what I call them, glitches with the phone. There we go. We can do something like Roblox. Again, a lot of people do, maybe buy this for their kid or themselves to play some Roblox on. You can just see how long it takes to load into the game. It just takes quite some time. And we're almost there. We're going to wipe this thing down while we're waiting. And there we are. I don't know, that take 10-15 seconds, something like that. I would say any game like Strongest Battlegrounds, you're not going to be able to play. Anything, even in lowest graphics. Again, this is a very cheap phone. It's only a $40 phone. So you can't really expect to really even game at all on this thing. But if you do super easier games, you might be okay. Something like Black Fruits, you're not going to be able to play. Arsenal is not going to really load in very well. Jailbreak, especially Royal High, that's a pretty graphically intensive game actually. Most games are probably not going to work too well on here. We'll try some here like Monkey Tycoon. So it's just a tycoon type game. You can see it's in there trying to load in. Again, you see the fingerprints already. I touched it only a couple of times since I've just wiped it off. But again, a lot of phones are bad with that, I will say. And we're starting to load in here. Eventually we'll load in. We'll go hit that, we'll hit our settings. So right now it is on automatic. We'll go down all the way to lowest graphics settings with just one bar. Try and hit this X. Again, this is not really a phone meant for gaming, of course. And you see there's a little bit of weirdness when you move around the screen. See you have some definite lag spikes there. Go ahead and we can deposit it. So games like this, you'll probably be okay with playing. It doesn't really matter if it lags out a little bit here and there. But again, more graphically intensive games, even in Roblox, you're going to have issues with. And this, of course, just a small snippet of this gameplay. When you see it for, say, hour playing game, you might start experiencing a little more lag as the device gets hotter and hotter. Lastly, let's talk about the speaker quality, the speaker sound. So, of course, if you're talking to somebody, you have the speaker up here. You're talking on the phone with somebody. But when you're just playing music or watching YouTube, whatever, you do not have this. This does not work. You only have a speaker. It's on the back, which is weird. Some of these other cheaper phones do the same thing where you have it on the back. I don't really understand. It's having it down here. You can see I just hit something. Alright, so we do have the volume up all the way. And it's going to take a moment for it to reload. Again, if you try to skim through the video, sometimes it just does this, where it just kind of gets stuck for a moment. So as far as being only one speaker, it actually doesn't sound that bad. It's decently loud, just goofy how it's pointed in the back. So if you're laying on something, of course, it's going to be very muffled. Even if you have it like that, it's still going to be pointing away from you. Whereas compared to being on the side, or phones that have two speakers come towards you and on the side. So I mean, it's doable. It's not the worst thing ever. Actually, it sounds decent. Just again, it's pointed backwards. One more thing I want to say though is if you're trying to do like a couple of things at one time. So say you hit one thing and you try to hit another thing like right away. You're going to confuse this phone. Again, it goes for a lot of phones in this price range. You're just going to confuse the processor, and then it's going to like kind of freak out for a moment before it realizes what you want it to do, and then it's going to do it. If that makes sense, hopefully. Again, you can see all these fingerprints. So all in all, I would not recommend this phone. I usually don't say that too often. It's just when you're talking about a $40 phone and you can get something again like the Motorola here, or something like the Samsung, which are, again, all three of these are pretty dang cheap phones. If you're looking at something that is locked to a carrier subscription, prepaid phone, in other words, you do have other options. Again, this is $40. I believe I paid, I think, $60 for the Motorola, something like that. Or normally it's $60. It was, I think, half off as well. And then you also have something like the Samsung, which I think is normally, I want to say it's either 60 bucks or 70 bucks, and I got like $10 off of it being on sale. So again, you're only telling $23 more, and you get a way better experience. Again, these are nothing like a flagship phone, but compared to this, they almost might as well be, because they are just so much better. But if you are on a crazy type budget, you don't care about the performance of the phone, you just need a phone, then here you go. It's a phone. But yeah, you all let me know what you think. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a good one.